Hello, hello, everyone. We're back
for round 3 of our Friday Night Magic here at GameSwap Mason, brought to you by Top Jack Productions. This is round 3 of 5 of our Modern F&M. I'm Zachary Creamer, and I'm joined this week.
I'm Matthew Munir. Normally we have Connor Sloan back here with Zach, but he's out camping, so I'm the replacement for this week. He should be back next week, though, with the usual commentary duo. This round we got Patrick Narsavage on Humans and Cameron Varker on Scapeshift.
No one wants to see our faces anyway.
That is right. So you're a Scapeshift player.
Yeah.
We haven't really been seeing this deck as much lately.
Yeah, it does been really interesting. I've been trying to, like, I don't know, I guess investigate why we haven't been seeing Scapeshift around so much. It hasn't been doing, hasn't been seen placing high at GPs, opens, or anything like that. And I think it's probably because people are worried about the Humans matchup, actually.
I'm interested to see this one. I think we're about to see why no one's playing Scapeshift anymore.
Well, actually, so the thing is, so with the list I've been playing with, I've actually had pretty good matchups against Humans.
Yeah.
Ever since I changed, so when Humans was first introduced to the format, and I was playing Scapeshift, I lost almost every time. Once I adjusted my list a lot, I've actually had a lot better matches against them.
What changes did you make?
So I'm playing 3 Oblivion Stones in the main.
Yeah, as your sweeper of choice.
Yeah, so sweeper, and then we have 3 Angers on the side. We also have 2 bolts, and then Challenge and Torch of Defiance is also another way to kill any of the humans.
Sure.
In the main. And I mean, it might just be like coincidence or luck, or maybe I'm not playing against some of the best players, but overall, I think I'm doing fine.
What's the meddling mage on? The meddling mage named Bolt? Okay, normally you name Bolt first, and then you can start going
That's
after...
That's also really nice for my list, because they never name Oblivion Stone. It's just not a thing that you see on the
It's not on the radar.
Yeah, it's not on the radar.
It's not on the radar.
And when you're just ramping anyways, it works perfectly. Everything fits in.
Takes care of everything instead of some of the things. Like sometimes, like...
Even Blood Moons, too, like all the sideboard hate.
Sometimes Sweltering Sun and... Anger of the Gods aren't enough against the human deck. They can outgrow that.
Yeah, like we saw last round, right? There was like
a bunch of
2 Thales Lieutenants, and they're all huge. All the humans, but... All right. No Aether Vial start, but Patrick has plenty of land, so he can start
He's just going for it.
Oh, yeah. And second Meddling Mage.
Here we go.
Name Anger of the Gods.
Naming Anger of the Gods. See?
All right.
So my Oblivion Stone is still be online right now.
Cameron's going to untap and cast Sweltering Suns.
Does he have it in hand, or
no? But that's something that he can do.
Yeah. And
I think that one's better anyway because it can cycle.
Yeah. It can't kill the big champion right now, but I mean, it would be good if he has it. Second Valakut here.
He has Bloodbraid
Off.
Awkward. He has Bloodbraid Off. What do you think of this?
So I wanted to mix it up, so I took out the Chandras like last Friday or something, and I put in Bloodbraid Elves, and it is terrible.
Yeah.
It was actually, all right, so the only time it was useful is when they had Liliana of the Veil, and I was able to hasten kill her. But besides that, I sideboarded out every single game.
Yeah, it's supposed to ramp you in. It's supposed to, like, hit a ramp spell and then leave behind a 3-2.
So, like, Chandra's Torch of Defiance for me is just, I am superior.
That has to be better.
It ramps, it removes things.
It does everything.
And it has additional reach.
Yep.
And then if I alter, I just win.
Yeah.
Like,
it does everything.
Does everything.
Does everything, saves everybody.
And then Bloodbraid Elf does one thing, and then it blocks a creature.
It's chump blocking.
Yeah.
It's chump blocking here. He didn't even put it in front of one of the meddling mages that had, like, a relevant card named on it. He put it in front of the big thing, but so he wouldn't die. I get it.
Did we already answer Robert's question about the first? All right, so the first meddling mage was on Bolt, second one was on Anger, but...
Yeah.
Cameron scoops it up, so Patrick gets the game 1 here.
As I was...
And actually, so about the whole Scapeshift against human things, I'm actually, I think this Sunday we're making a YouTube video specifically for YouTube with my Scapeshift list against Kyle Palmer, who's really good on humans. And we'll see how that ends up going. But
you guys are doing that.
I think, yeah. So we'll be jamming a lot of games, trying to get the best feel for the matchup, and hopefully we'll get some good numbers on that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yep. Yeah. So
I would like us to do more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I've been doing quite a bit of that every Sunday. We're trying to get something going, whether it's Popper or all these formats that we don't normally get on camera.
Okay.
Or like standard playtesting is another big thing we want to obviously hit up since we're getting a new set and new rotation. So going on the sideboard here, if Cameron doesn't have sweepers, he's probably going to bring some more in. Patrick, anything that gets rid of instant sorceries are generally pretty good.
Yeah, so like Sin Collector.
Yeah, and then again, that's another thing that Oblivion Stone gets around.
Yeah. No, totally. Chain to the Rocks gets around it, too.
Okay. Looks like Cameron got a lot of things aside in here, or at least things to take out.
At that point, you just shuffle your. At that point, you can just shuffle your entire sideboard into it, and then just take cards out. But yeah, I'll use this. I'll use this as an opportunity to remind you. So if you want to rewatch this game, or any of the other games we're streaming tonight, or any of the other games we've streamed ever, don't forget that we archive all of our replays on our YouTube page at youtube.com/TopDeckProductionsStream. If you're itching to follow us elsewhere on social media, give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/TopDeckProductions, and be sure to check out TopDeckProductions.com for player deck lists, league standings, and more. So what do you think the Scapeshift player brings in?
It really depends on what all he has in the sideboard. If he can bring in, again, just more sweepers are his biggest priority right now. And then other, like, I mean, so in my list specifically, I'd like to keep a lot of the interaction in the main, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not playing the additional Clowny Heart Expeditions or anything like that. Where
I don't like that card anyway.
So I don't play the excessive amount of ramps. So my flex spots, I choose to play Oblivion Stones, Lightning Bolts, Chandras, and Corsair Crucifix.
I always like the Corsair Crucifix.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan. Often I do side it out in quite a few matchups, but I think you can keep it in this one. I'm not sure what Cameron's list is exactly, but we'll see what Cameron has access to.
Yeah. Okay, so that thing in front is the is the San Diego Comic-Con Chandra Torch of Defiance that I saw him sideboard in, and it's in its opening hand.
So that's
how you do it.
So in my sideboard, I would bring in 3 Angers here, as well as I would consider an Inferno Titan. It really depends on what all I want to take out.
Yeah.
But Inferno Titan's nice for blocking, and it can obviously ping down a lot of the dudes before they get
Thalia.
Yep.
There's my girl, Thalia.
It's going to slow down the Chandra here.
Thalia's bae. She has great hair.
She's very good, yeah.
Doesn't take anything from anybody. Thalia's great.
She might see a lightning bolt here.
Top 10 of all time. Top 10 creatures of all time. Thalia, ladies and gentlemen.
So Cameron's not playing anything, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be firing off this bolt end of turn.
If he didn't have anything else, if he didn't have anything else to do that turn, yeah, I don't see why you don't wait. Okay.
Well, so I'm assuming he had to have some sort of like ramp spell here, unless if he's stuck on a land's Chandra Bolt.
Oh,
but
boy,
Thalia the
Heretic Cathar is really good.
So in response, we're gonna fetch.
So there's a debate between this and Militia Bugler.
Yes.
Which do you prefer?
So on Tuesdays, me and Jake Valentine are often commentary, and we always go for the Thalia Heretic Cathar. What's your opinion?
So I think in the meta as it is, I think the Thalia Heretic Cathar is better.
Yes.
And then if mid-range takes over, I think you're gonna want Militia Bugler to fill your hand back up.
Yeah,
but
that's our exact thoughts too on Tuesdays.
Well, there you go.
And a lot of the time, what we actually see on Tuesdays is Militia Buglers, and we've seen it fail like many times. Where it's like, if that was a Thalia, I'm pretty sure this game would have been over.
Yeah, like Thalia's super good against like the blue-white control deck, the Tron deck. Like, all the decks people are playing right now, it's Thalia.
Yeah,
it's
and
Thalia.
just in general, like, decks are not monocolor in Modern right now.
No.
People are, like, you have access to, like, the greatest, like, some of the greatest mana bases of all time right here. You have fetches, shocks, like, you have it all, whereas in Standard...
Your fetch coming into play tapped is so embarrassing.
Like, in Standard, you have basics. Like, you can get around that thing, but here in Modern, everyone's so greedy with their mana base. Death Shadow, like, look at that. They're playing 2 basics.
Like, I know I couldn't kill a Thalia, like the 2-drop Thalia, if they followed it up with a 3-drop Thalia, because my fetch land on my turn 3 would come into play tap that I would need to get the 3rd land to be able to cast the Searing Blaze and pay 3. Oh my god. Yeah, like Thalia into Thalia, dude. It just puts you so far back.
Cameron here, he could have bolted the Freebooter in response. That way he kills the human instead of, or bolt the, bolt anything really. I mean,
yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah, so he didn't, which was a slight mistake there. Hopefully it doesn't cost him. Because he might now want to minus Chandra on the
Yeah, he probably will.
And then get the bolt to kill the champion. But like you're losing 3 loyalty for nothing, is the way I see that.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Regardless, I think he's in a good position right now, though. Or we're playing the Baloth. Also, why would you sign it? Like, I don't like bringing in Baloth here.
No, I think Baloth, like Leyline of Sanctity, is a kind of card.
Yeah.
Like Leyline of Sanctity, like Surgical Extraction is a card that people play in their sideboard a lot. And they bring it in more than they need to.
Yeah, without reason. It's like here, he's thinking about blocking, right? I'd rather have an Inferno Titan or just actually try and win the game. Like, you're playing Scapeshift and you're on the play, dude. Like, just kill your opponent.
Yeah, he's valuing the blocker and the life gain here. The thing is like life gain.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's
if
going
you're
to be
behind on board, you're gonna lose.
Once you're behind, you lose. Like, you have to end the game or play something that can deal with.
If the Obstinate Baloth, will be worth the card if it gets him the turn. If it gets him to the turn where he wins the game. If it cards like this are only worth the amount of turns that they buy you and what you're able to do with those turns. So if it gets you to the card if it gets you to the card in the turn that wins you the game, then yeah, maybe it was worth it. But like right now, it's just a 4/4 on the battlefield. It's it's blocking. Yep. It's blocking. It's fine.
So this meddling mage named Chandra Flamecaller, which is really interesting. I play this card a lot in my Ponza decks. Just because it's a great board wipe. I don't think Cameron's going to have it in his list.
Really? Patrick named Chandra Flamecaller?
Flamecaller, yeah, because it could just -4 in Wrath Patrick's board, so that was just the first thing that came to mind. He saw an Anger go.
That's a flame. It's in his hand. That's the Flamecaller?
Oh, it's Flamecaller? Oh, I thought it was Torch of Defiance.
Oh, that is the Flamecaller.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I forgot.
Never mind. Yeah,
okay.
that's perfectly right.
Yeah. Okay. So the San Diego Comic-Con promo that he has in his hand is the Flamecaller.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Torch of Defiance one is this year's and last year's. Last year they did it with the hieroglyphic
hieroglyphics
style.
I thought that was the hieroglyphic one.
This year is the one where it has Jaya in the background with gorgeous art from Therese Nielsen. But the one he has is the one from like 2 or 3 years ago.
Something like that.
Like 3 or 4 years ago.
Hey, that's pretty interesting.
Where it's the zombie one.
Okay.
And that is a Flamecaller. No, he's right. I was wrong.
Yeah, so that was a good thing to name there.
I don't know. I don't know all of my promos.
I mean, who cares?
I historically do not know.
I just thought it just strictly looked like the.
No, that is the.
Like the hieroglyphic one. All right, yeah. So this is the Flamecaller, and I actually like this in, but like again, like I'd rather have more cards like this than the Obstinate Baloth, or even just that Baloth with a ramp spell.
You're diluting your deck. He's diluting his deck. It's fine. People do it. I see people do this all the time. It's okay.
I mean, I think he's probably a lot of debates.
Like the game is going to end when he plays his Scapeshift. Unless this meddling mage is naming
Chandra can help you draw into that too, but it might be. But I think there's actually a lot of debates on like Reddit and all that thing going around, like about how sideboarding is one of the hardest parts of Magic the Gathering. Would you like agree with that, or how do you stand on it? Because we've seen like just in the 3 rounds tonight, we've spotted like errors in sideboarding. It's probably cost games.
People make their sideboards more people make sideboarding more difficult than they want. Than it needs to be, because like when you build a deck, it's not 60 cards and 15 cards, it's 75 cards. You need to think about every matchup and what you're taking out first, and then what you want to bring in.
And then like what you actually like need to, like we saw the ley line actually potentially cost the Lantern player the game.
I would have taken out the main deck
Witchbane Orb.
Witchbane Orb. There were 2 cards that he had, one on the battlefield and one in his hand, that weren't doing anything, and those could have been cards that he needed to actually win the game.
To like lock out his opponent.
Yeah, like if you needed to, if you figure as a Scapeshift player there are X number of cards that you need to take out, then you're going to want that many cards in your sideboard. And so I think when people build their main decks and their sideboards separately, they make the job of sideboarding a lot harder, because they then have to figure out.
Yep.
I play a little game when I build my decks. I call it the dice game. And the dice game is you have all of your sideboard, you have all of your potential sideboard cards laid out in front of you, and then you have all of the decks in the format. And you go over each deck in the format, and you put a dice on each of your cards every time it adds, every time it comes in a different matchup, and you tick up the dice every time it comes in another one. And so you get to see which cards would come in the most matchups the most times, and then you figure out, based off of that, how many of each card you need or want.
Sure. All right, so here we see Valakut doing some work here. Plenty of mountains to activate it. We're just bolting down some humans right now, and then this Chandra Flamecaller should end the game pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's another win condition. That's actually pretty cool. I can get behind that. And so that's an efficient way to build your deck with the sideboard in mind, and it makes sideboarding like a lot easier, because it's like anytime you play against that matchup, bam, you know what you're bringing in beforehand.
Yep.
You can have a little list with you. You're allowed to do that. And so to answer the question, yeah, I think like sideboarding it's as difficult as any other aspect of the game, and people make, like any other aspect of the game, people make it a lot more difficult than, and I think it needs to be.
What are all these images on currently? And also, are the life totals updated?
He copied Baloth.
I think he did, yeah. So I think he's been gaining life.
He copied Baloth. Cool.
So he's at
like
29
3 times.
actually. Yep, that seems pretty good.
Yeah. That's hysterical. He can block. He can block these.
That's a bolt. Just -4 Chandra here. Wrath the entire board, and then I think you're in a perfect. You're in a good position. You can start. You can save that bolt. Just draw some cards. He's gonna block trade.
This is hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, here's the minus.
Phantasmal
Wrath
image.
the board. All right, so Meddling Mage, Thalia, Heretic, Cathar, and a Reflector Mage are what Patrick is currently holding in his hand. So he's not that far behind right now, actually, but I think he doesn't have 8th round, so I'm going to do 1 creature a turn. So that's going to slow him down quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you also Noble for additional ramp. So Bolt's going to take care of the Thalia, and then
well, I was talking about the Mountain. The Mountain's a lightning bolt.
Actually, we want to save up this the Bolt, too, and just the Mountain's better here. So we can kill whatever he plays on his turn. Chandra's going to hit Patrick for 6.
Mantis Rider's good here, except for
the Bolt.
Except for the Bolt in his hand. Bolt it. That a boy.
Yeah, so there's no opportunity to respond. So now he needs Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
So all right, so it's like Pithing Needle. Once you let it resolve, it's not a trigger, it just happens. You choose. So.
If Cameron wanted to use his bolt, he would bolt Patrick, which is, I think, what you probably, I don't know, it doesn't matter. He can
irrelevant, but
he can minus the Chandra next turn.
So he should have just held it, and so he could 0 the Chandra and just keep drawing if that's like what he needs, right?
I'm saying like he can use the bolt on a creature later if he's saving to use it on a creature.
Yeah, so he has plenty of options with that. Draws a fetch land. He cannot play this Baloth right now. I like minusing or zeroing Chandra here.
Meddling Mage is a weird one.
So if we 0 Chandra, we can't play the Baloth. The fetch land is the only thing you can play because you can play the Lightning Bolt either right now. And then Chandra just zeroing, you have so many live draws. Like literally any ramp spell just kills all those creatures. And I mean, 0 mana drawing or just activating Chandra to draw 4 cards here and getting rid of those are pretty good. And so he can't get the basic mountain there, also ends up teeth. So he's going to use Stomping Ground.
Does he already have all his Cinder Glades? I guess it doesn't. If he is not using the mana this turn, it doesn't.
So I play 4 Cinder Glades, 3 Stomping Ground, but yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. So he found a way to clear the board, and then he's going to take up and attack. So this play works pretty well too. And then he still has the Baloth left in hand. So he's gonna Patrick's going to scoop it up. Yeah. Chandra's going to get this game, and now we're going to do the third one.
Brought in his alternate win condition and won the game with it. Who needs Scapeshift? Maybe he took them out.
Yeah, so it's like Scapeshift can win with Titans, Chandras. Like there's so many possible win conditions. Can we get the ticker at the bottom rolling again? Yeah, like there's so many like ways that Scapeshift can win the game. Like if you shut down one option, you just go for the other one.
Yeah, why not?
Creature beats Chandra. Like there's so many options. And then at the core of the deck, like you cannot counter basic mountains. That land resolves, and that trigger's going to happen, and it's going to eventually kill your opponent.
Fair enough. So if y'all at home are fans of Modern, I just want to remind everyone that Tuesday night is our Modern League night, and on Tuesdays at our Modern League night, the players here get to play for cash prizes in addition to the store credit that they would normally get. Every week we keep track of all the wins every player gets, who's in the league, and at the end of the month, narrow it down to the top 4, and the top 4 get their cut of cash prize. First place walks away with $100, second place is $50, and third and fourth are each $25. So if you live in the Greater Cincinnati area and you're looking to put your money where your mouth is when it comes to playing some Modern, you should really check it out.
Yeah.
You have to be a minimum $5 patron at patreon.com/TopDeckProductions, or you can sign in on the website, and which is topdeckproductions.com, and the link on the website totally works. It's the one I use to sign up. And if you can't make it, then you should watch it, because there are some really great games that go on that night.
It's a lot more competitive events than the weekly that we're seeing here tonight.
It brings out a bit more of like the competitive side of players who come here. Okay.
Turn 1 Hierarch. Not a bad start. Not as good as the Aether Vial, but it'll work.
Yeah, and Cameron doesn't have like a turn 1 play. They usually don't. And here comes Thalia. All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
So now all these lands come in tapped.
All of Cameron's lands come into play. All the non-basics, right?
Yeah, non-basics.
Non-basics. So that basic land's pretty good. Steve comes into play tapped.
So the deck
Steve doesn't get to chump block this
so
turn.
it plays
big game.
7 fetch lands, 3 stomping grounds, and 4 Centigrades is and 4 Valid Cuts. All those are going to come in tapped. All the Valid Cuts already come in tapped anyways. And this,
here's a swing for 6.
Yeah, so that's big beats. I think Cameron
really wanted to block the Heretic.
So if he gets Mountain here and he has Anger the Gods, he's in this. But, I mean, yeah, so he got the Mountain. Let's see if he has the Anger.
Sweltering Suns.
Yeah. Well, we saw an Anger main game 1, so I imagine.
I think Sweltering Suns is better.
If you're playing into the main, I think Sweltering Sun is better, but I like my Anger for the side.
Yeah. So like any main deck sweepers, you have the Sweltering Suns main, and in the sideboard they have Anger.
Yeah,
and that is also good against humans to diversify.
Yep. So what I do is I play the Oblivion Stones, so I don't need the Sweltering Suns. I just play the Angers on the side to help me out with those matchups like Dredge.
Here's a Bloodbraid Elf. That's going to attack.
And enters tapped. So
enters tapped.
Anger the Gods is what he needs here. And he does not get
That's a Summoner's Pact that he's going to choose not to cast.
Yeah. Or maybe he does cast it here. And there's no way.
He's not going to cast.
If he casts this, he just loses because he has to tap out for it. But
the Bloodbraid Elf comes into play tap. Nice. Yeah. Nice haste.
So like he literally is, he's going to die here. Like another 6 is coming in. He's going to go down to 8. Possibly even more if there's another Mantis Rider. Actually, it does not look to be that way. It looks like another Thalia, Heretic Cathar, Horizon Canopy, and an Aether Vial. So Patrick's hand's actually pretty low on gas. He's probably going to crack this Horizon Canopy and see what he draws first. Let's see what it is. He has a Thalia's Lieutenant. My apologies. It was not a Thalia Heretic Cathar. So this Lieutenant's actually going to make this a swing for 8. And here's the Lieutenant. It resolves. Actually, swing for 9 because higher.
What if this was a Bugler? He would have taken out Bugler. He would have taken out Bugler and brought in like some other card that does half as much as. Man, Thalia's good. Wow. Okay.
Here's attack for 9. Cameron's on
I think this is why people aren't playing Scapeshift. Like, what are you supposed to do about this?
And now this Mantis Rider alone is going to kill Cameron here with the Exalted effect.
That is insane.
Humans is really good right now.
You just have, there's 4 life.
Yep, and then he dies. Like,
I think he's still dead.
I think he can chump block the Thalia. Takes, he only takes 6.
He just drew another Thalia's Lieutenant.
Okay, no, that's lethal then. That's an additional 3 damage, and he's gonna vial it in.
He's gonna nice. And he's still got 2. He's got 2 Aether Vials in hand that don't matter.
Yeah, so like we saw Patrick, he had so many like bad draws here. 2 Aether Vials, like 1 too many lands. The Aether, actually 3 Aether Vials, because the first one came in like what, 2 to 3 turns late? I think it was 2 turns late.
He started out of the game with a Noble Hire.
Yeah, he didn't even have the Aether Vials, and he just started drawing them.
Let's see if it's enough.
Yeah, and it is. I'm pretty sure it should be exactly 9. If he blocks the Thalia, that's 10.
Take 10. That's it.
That's game.
Humans
does it. Yeah. So like
we saw